I thought about like what I want to talk about, but there is no charge of energy that can make me want to say anything. The topic is not aligned with this energy. It's just like I feel like this is why everyday posting is not a great idea in the first place. But this is also why I want to do it because it's like striking a tall wall made out of steel that you just seem impossible to break down. But eventually you do because you see it in front of you and you see it as a challenge that you can conquer instead of being uh, this is something that I can't do. So I'm just gonna walk away from this and I'm like, now you can do this. Because I have built the confidence to actually just stay here and be in front of the camera and look at you and just say whatever it is that I'm thinking. I don't know how make sense that is. I did I did things that is not really logical or make sense in any way, but I eventually talk things out to a degree where I did my portion today. But I wish like it has some weight, so it holds some meaning for you and it doesn't waste your time. And it feels like this is the time where you tried your best, you did everything that you can, but eventually you still hit this wall, the unbreakable wall. So what do you do in this situation? The great thing is about this is that this is not a literal physical wall. This is a mental wall. So when you see a mental wall in front of your experience, you don't necessarily need to climb because it's not real. It's in your head. So what I often do when this kind of experience here in my life is that we can fly, we can cross dimension, we can try something different, and essentially be in the space where we can go anywhere without a wall existed in every direction that we face, any direction that we face. So yeah, and we concluded that I'm sharing this narrative, this concept, this situation to be the thing that you might experience in real life. If you see something, if you talk to someone that is like an unbreakable wall, be in the space where you are capable to quantum jump, whatever that is. Be in the space where you are that person who already breaking the wall. And that when it comes to human, you don't necessarily oh, there is something in my eye. You don't necessarily like make it whatever in front of you doesn't exist. You actually be someone who are not having the kind of experience that you are facing. Meaning, if you're facing someone and that person is actually having a wall, then you be the person who doesn't see the wall or essentially know what that wall is all about. Then you can like be one step ahead from that person. I don't know how you take that. That is a narrative that is so broad in a way, but if you think about it, you just be someone who can contain that person in order to get your point across. Not necessarily manipulating the person to do what you want, but just like let the person understand what you are there to do. If you are essentially want to get close to someone, you don't corner your prey. You essentially let the person's fear to be part of your interaction. You don't make them to be more fearful, you actually help them release the fear in itself. So that's also one way to see it. We're talking about wall here, so there are different walls in life. There are people, there are experiences that I just talk about. It's just in your head and you can just do anything that you want because it's never been real in the first place. But there's also a wall between interaction with other people, with connecting with other people. So in that way you need to take an account from other people, that from that person that you are connecting with. This is the receiving that I'm talking about. And if you have watched the receiving, how well you receive, I think that's the title. That this is the thing that I'm talking about. Mostly about the human actually, not necessarily about what's happening in your mind. If you're stuck in at doing something, you probably want to take yourself out of your situation in the first place. I used to follow this girl on Instagram. Her name is Carrie Kang, and she is really good at making a concept, a narrative to be like so out there. And I copy this from her. She said something along, if you don't think outside the box, think about the box. So you don't necessarily need to invent a new thing. You just like see the box and what is the gap between the box that you can fill in. This is what that is that when you are having an internal wall, you don't necessarily feel like you are inside the box and then you feel like you need to go outside the box. You actually start to float above the box and you see all the different components of the box and you start to see what is the thing that you're experiencing. That's one thing to see your internal wall. It's not that you need to do something for the wall. It's actually you need to think of a holistic of what that wall is all about. And then you can jump or essentially just like what do you call it? Like being invisible and just walking between the walls. That is a lot more advanced work to be like invisible and knowing that nothing can stop you. Because then you need some conviction, identity, you need to know what is your limit so you know where when to recharge. If you don't know that, then you take a small step until you know what to do next. Because being invisible is actually still containing yourself, but you also understand the path that you walked, the path that you choose. Because then you see, okay, this is the atom that I can play with so that I can cross the walls while being an invisible person. That's one way to see it. And I said I don't have any topic. I just talk about what I experience. Is that I don't even remember what I talk about in the first place. Oh, we talk about the wall. How I experienced the wall of not having a topic. But essentially I get my concept across. I hope you understand this. This is such a short video. I don't have anything else I want to say actually. But I think I want to change the time I'm posting this because this is still like midnight. It's 11:22 p.m. in my time. So yeah, I'll see you tomorrow.